Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome to my very first Supreme Commander Forged Alliance Forever cast. Before we get into the action, I would like to ask anyone playing on the Forged Alliance Forever servers to start reviewing your replays. This feature isn't used nearly enough, and it would be a great help to all the casters if we could begin reviewing replays to make the good replays easier to find and the bad ones easier to ignore. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get into the action. Alright, so today's action is going to be taking place on Forbidden Pass V4, a very nice map, but let's go ahead and introduce our two players. In the bottom left, we have the red UEF player, who's known as Explosive, and he's going first land, and 2 pigeons, mechs, yep, 2 pigeons, 4 mechs, that's what he's doing. And then let's go ahead and check on our other player. We have Montana, a blue Seraphim player today. This is a 1v1 ladder match, so it should be pretty interesting. It is between two players that are almost evenly rated. It's about 100 points being given up between the two of them. Explosive on the lower end of the rating scale. And it looks like Montana decided to go with Land Factory, 4 mechs, 6 pigeons into Air Factory. Let's go ahead and go into split screen so you all can just watch their build orders. Should be pretty cool. And this map takes a little bit before action starts, so I'm going to go ahead and speed it up a little bit while the early game happens. We have some engineers over here reclaiming, and I'm sure that Montana's mirroring. That's what I see a lot of people doing on this map. Doing some auto reclaim. I don't know, would it be better to manual reclaim all this, or is auto reclaim efficient enough? I wonder if manual reclaim is actually worth it, the APM required. We do have our first air factories coming out here around the 2-minute mark. This air factory is finished, and is that a bomber? Oh, it is first bomber. Montana is making bomber first. That'll be interesting to keep track of. I think that's enough for the early game. Let's go ahead and get out of that split screen and let's follow this bomber, see what's going to go on with that. We'll slow it down a little bit. We have an interceptor and a bomber out, or we have a scout and a bomber out, and we have an interceptor and a scout out for Explosive. Let's see what Montana can get done. He doesn't know where anything quite is yet. Yeah, Explosive didn't catch that with his scout. Let's see. We do see well, he doesn't know for sure, but that's probably an engineer. Yeah, we have an engineer building a hydrocarbon over here. Is that what he's targeting, or is he targeting something else? Let's see. Can't see the command. I think he's targeting the engineer. Let's see. And yes, bombs away. That engineer is going to die, and that hydrocarbon is going to be halfway done. Let's see. The hydrocarbon over here is already done, and they have a land factory on the way. So that does set back his hydro a little bit. Might cause some power issues. Let's see. He is getting close to stalling, so he'll want to get that completed sometime soon. Yeah, he might be power stalling here in just a second. He's surviving off reclaim for the moment. Let's see. Scout plane's over. I don't think he's made any bombers or anything like that. We do have some mech marines over here. I thought I heard a mech marine firing, and yes, I did. This Tech 1 mass fabricator, Tech 1 mechs was being built by a Seraphim engineer over here, and it looks like it's not going to be built anytime soon. Gonna have to get another engineer out here to start expanding. That mech marine has paid itself off. It's got a kill. Let's go ahead and slow this down to normal speed. We have a little bit of an air fracas going on over here. We have some enties fighting it out. It looks like Montana is getting the best of this exchange, but there's always more enties from the look of it coming out of Explosive's base. Yeah, I think actually Explosive might wrestle air control here, just because Montana fought a little bit closer to Explosive's base and Explosive was creating more interceptors while Montana was making another bomber. Let's see what this bomber is going for. Has it scouted anything? Can it see anything? Is it going to see that engineer? It sees the engineer. But no, it has an attack order, huh? All right, we have another bomber out, actually. We'll have to keep an eye on those. As a striker and Snoop kill a expanding engineer over here trying to get a mechs. Let's see. Where'd the first bomber go? Oh, there it is, and it's going to kill the mechs and the Snoop over there. Is it going to get a second bomb off for this engineer? I wonder. No, it won't, but its ally, the second T1 bomber, looks like it might. And it does indeed. Oh, no, it attacks the mass extractor, not the engineer. The engineer is much more valuable, my friend. You're going to want to get a bomb off on that engineer. Are you going to? Yes, that's another dead engineer. A kill to the name of that bomber. This Snoop and Striker are not long for the world, but they did kill an engineer trying to make a hydrocarbon, so that's pretty good. And we can see that, as I mentioned earlier, Explosive has come over here to the middle. Actually, did I even mention that? I don't know if I talked about the map much, but yeah, on this map, normally the comms come here and here. They kind of cross the river and go to the other side and grab these 4 mexes. I may have mentioned that. I honestly don't remember. Explosive over here making some factories. Same for Montana. 4 mexes in a factory, and factories are always good. We have a little bit of a... Was that an airdrop? I think they airdropped some engineers. I don't think he walked 4 engineers over here, but they managed to get up that PD in time and get a few tanks to reinforce. Only 1 engineer left, but that's all you need to build a factory. And another expansion of engineers up here at this point, but I don't think this one's going to be quite as successful. It does look like this is going to fall. With the tanks here and the engineers not having a PD, I'm pretty sure this factory is just going to end up being a dead factory very soon. So that's probably pretty lost for Explosive. But it is still pretty even map-wise. Slight mass generation lead to Explosive, and mass total lead to Explosive as well, so the red player doing a little bit better in mass. But as you can see here, in the air game, it seems like Explosive has fallen behind after grabbing that early lead in the air game. Probably needs to get prioritized on creating more interceptors. He does currently have the air factory advantage, though, as it looks like he's on 5 air factories, while Montana is on only 2. But what does that mean for his land factory count? He is at currently... Oh! Accidentally misclicked out of the game. He's at 10 land factories, while Montana is sporting 8. So he has more of both factories. And his mass generation is pretty much on par with that of Montana. Actually, it's slightly behind now. So yeah, I mean, having more factories is always a good thing, but you need the mass to use those factories, as we have a bunch of inties on the ground getting shot at over here. Oh, lift these up. You're giving away free intie kills. No, don't do this to yourself. A large number of tanks, a large number of THAMs gathering around here near that core, those 4 mexes over here. Let's see, those could possibly threaten this and take it out. That would be pretty bad for Explosive, as we have a few tanks running by his army up here and trying to make a run into the base, get a little bit of damage done and some scouting. I don't think they're going to get much done, but it would be better to kill them now than before they get into your power line. We have 4 factories over here and 3 over here. As far as the 2 middle bases are concerned, it does look like Montana has a much better grasp on this area of the map than Explosive has over here. Montana investing a lot of his tanks down here. It looks like at some point some tanks got up here and managed to take out these 4 mexes. I missed that. Let's see. And we have a bunch of T1 bombers over here, but most of the interceptors for Montana seem to have gone... I don't know where. They've just disappeared. They've been destroyed. So these bombers look like they're targeting a mass extractor? That's I don't know how efficient that would be. I would probably focus the tanks, but then again, I'm much lower rated than these players. They are going to get that mex though, so mission accomplished. Pretty sure that wasn't worth the cost of 4 bombers though. I mean, I guess he doesn't have an engineer nearby, so he won't be grabbing that mex anytime soon. But I'm pretty sure that mex would have paid itself off by now. Let's see. A little bit of a scrimmage going on over here. As is over here, a scrimmage is just kind of going on everywhere. We do have a large push down here that's taken out that factory and PD that's coming down around the south. It looks like it's going to threaten these mexes and possibly be able to make a way to the main base if there's not a response brought out very soon. Do we have any kind of response on the way? We have T2 air coming out for explosive. Do we have anything near the same for Montana? We don't have T2 air coming out anywhere. Do any of these factories have T2 land? No. So he's going to be going for T2 air, possibly make some gunships or some T2 fighter bombers to try and deal with all this spam. And that could be a really good counter, but he is starting to give up a sizable generated mass lead and a total mass lead to his opponent, Montana, 55 to 49. It was 45 just a second ago, but I'm guessing he either upgraded a mex or built a couple new ones. As he's creating some units over here that can possibly come behind this, but these 4 mexes are pretty much definitely dead, and possibly this mex over here. These units are going to be doing quite a little bit of damage to his generated eco. He's going to want to get engineers on transports to get down here and replace all this, and he needs to find a way to deal with this. What is he producing? He's making some T2 engineers. Probably needs power to build anything like gunships or bombers. So he's probably going to make a T2 power up here or over here, if I had to guess. Let's see. We have a we have explosives comm over here. Looks like he's just going to try and pick off some tanks. A little bit of a risky spot to be standing, but at the same time, he has a lot of units. He's making a large run by towards Montana's base. I'm not seeing very many defenses over here, so this could be quite damaging. While Montana has a sizable force up here, I feel like if he just got the impetus to start pushing down with his comm, he could do a lot of damage down here. There's not a lot to respond for it. Maybe get some scouts up and realize that. But I'm pretty sure he's a little bit preoccupied with building PD and trying to make sure his main base does not fall. He has a lot of power. Pretty much all of his power is concentrated right here. And if that goes down, he's going to stall really badly. You never want to see that. We do have gunships being produced out of this T2 factory, and yeah, these units are pushing all the way across and making a threat towards this base, but all of the base building opportunities over here have been shut down. We did see those engineers coming on a transport earlier. It does look like they landed, but just more units coming from these factories over here in the middle, which are actually under threat. These may go down. I think these will go down to this Tech 1 force, especially if the comm starts pushing with it. And we do have a gunship out. That'll help immensely with stopping this spam from doing very much damage in this base whatsoever. Looks like he's just going to keep on pumping out gunships, and why not? You have more air factories. You can always keep up on the interceptor game, and as you can see, Montana is just out of the air game, so he does have air supremacy. Let's see what he can do with it with these gunships. He's lost a T2 mech to these tanks, and he's going to start losing power generators. Is that significantly affecting his power? It is not currently significantly affecting the power. And as we can see, that large Tech 1 tank force coming down from the north, it was up next to Montana's comm, and now it's pushing through. These factories are almost assuredly dead, along with those mexes. A lot of map control being given up, and a lot of mass points being given up by explosive right now. He's down to 31 mass a second compared to his opponent's 59. Actually, that's fluctuating. Is he having a power stall of some sort? Yeah, he's having a power stall. But giving up almost double mass generation to his opponent, and almost a solid 5,000 mass total behind. This is a hole he needs to dig himself out of, but these gunships might be the answer. He needs to hold this off and keep all of his production facilities alive if he wants any chance of staying in this game. He is massively behind, down to 20 mass per second at some times. Both of them seem to be power stalling pretty badly. What caused the power stall over here? Is he building something? Is he getting a teched up factory somewhere? What's causing your power stall, my friend? Did he just lose a bunch of power generators? Huh. They're both power stalling. Let's go ahead and check out this base again. It does look like these gunships are cleaning it up pretty handily. He's only lost that one T2 mechs, and he's already rebuilt it with a T1 mechs. Need to get these gunships moving again. Can't just let them sit here and try and wail on these factories or any of your power generators. Both of them desperately need to build power production. Montana finally stabilizing after just a little bit. He's at 59 mass a second, and Explosive still stalling on power. Building power generators over here in the middle, that's a good idea. But yet again, he just managed to kill off all these forces that were up here, and they're just streaming out of these factories once more. He's going to have another large army like that, and unless he gets some units on the ground, these gunships cannot deal with all of this. All he has to do is start making some T1AA, which he has. You can see these Laissels over here just marching with the army. There's almost more of them than there are tanks, and if he starts losing those, that can be a very bad situation indeed, if he starts losing those gunships. And we have more tanks coming up here to take out this air factory. Explosive just absolutely trapped into a corner. Only other place on the map he has any control is right here in the middle, whereas Calm was for a very long time. Let's see. He's building some land factories, which is good, and he's managed to fix his power, I believe, so he's up to 31 mass a second versus 53 for Montana. He needs to start attacking this mass generation. I don't see how he can survive the onslaught of tanks, and the only way to stop those tanks from rolling in is to either destroy the factories or destroy the mass so they can't be produced. He does have gunships coming over here. It does look like this base is going to be attacked. You want to target these two anti-air before they start doing significant damage. Come on, target the AA. I know there's a lot to do, and I know you're worried about this attack, but you need to get rid of those anti-air before they start shooting down those gunships. He also has a single gunship up here taking out mass extractors, and he's managed to dethrone Montana from down here. Looks, this area, this entire game, people have been trying to build factories get destroyed. These tanks are pushing in once again, but now we have some T2 PD going up, those Tech 2 engineers proving their weight. Pulling their weight, not really proving their weight, proving their value as they start to build up a power generator back there. We need probably some more point defense, maybe a couple T1 would help right here, but for now it looks like they're holding. How'd these gunships do? It looks like they managed to get the 4 mexes but were shot down, and up here we got 2 mexes before the gunships were shot down. And down here we can see that Montana has managed to grab this expansion. That is a very cheeky expansion, very close to the main base, but then again, as far as the ground game goes, it looks like Explosive has almost no control this game. He has been kind of just stuck between this base and this base for most of the game now. We have another gunship up here. Looks like it's killed all 4 mass extractors and is working on that factory. I don't think it's going to finish off the factory before it dies. May have wanted to send some interceptors up there. And we have a ton of T1AA built around Montana's comm, 10 to be exact. That is a lot of T1AA to contend with. He won't be getting any gunships on him anytime soon. We have another little battle between tanks over here, but Montana, as has been so usual throughout this entire match, is winning it with overwhelming numbers. Alright. Down here we can start to see that these units have been pushed back a little bit, but so much of the map control is going to Montana. As you can see, it's just almost all the way around the map is just all Montana, and we have a 29 mass generation versus 80 mass generation. This is a stark difference, and it's showing in the total masses, with Montana accruing over 10,000 more, 11,000 more mass this game than Explosive. But Explosive is hanging in here. Isn't quite taken out of it yet. Still has a chance. We have some tanks and some T1AA coming down here, going to destroy this engineer's hard work. This engineer's life goal was to build this mass extractor, and it's just not going to happen, is it? Ah, poor engineer. He just wanted to build a mass extractor and see it live long enough to pay itself off. Down here we have a large tank group assorting. That's probably going to push around here like the other one from earlier that got so much progress done, making it all the way to the main base and killing that T2 mechs earlier. We have T2 on the way for Explosive. He's building it over here in the river with no assistance. It looks like it's going to take another around about a minute to half a minute, between a minute and half a minute to finish that up. You have a lot of factories built down here, but I don't think he has, I can't believe, yeah, he doesn't have the mass. He's mass stalling hard. Negative 73 mass, living off reclaim, while Montana has a relatively well-balanced eco at the moment. Could possibly do to spend a little bit more mass. And we have T2 land out from our Seraphim player in the blue. He has made a 2-2 land factory. I don't see any... There's our first Ilsheva, I would believe. Maybe there's another one lurking around here that's been out for longer. Or maybe one's already died, but, you know. Gotta take the wins while you can have them. And how far along is that Tech 2 upgrade? It's about 60 to 70% done. And these tanks that were sitting over here have decided to move in. They're going to be going for these 4 mexes and all of these factories over here. And Explosive just doesn't have the income. He doesn't have the income to build out of all of these factories. Is he doing anything with this Tech 2 air? He's still trying to build gunships, but there's so much AA around the map with both T1AA and just generally AA towers being built that I don't see it happening. TAC missile on the way for Explosive after he got that Tech 2 upgrade. It's actually building quite quickly. It's going to be done in about 20 seconds, but how can he sustain this for another 20 seconds? Or is it too little too late? He could definitely come over here and start getting some damage done with that. Start hitting some of these power gen... Or, wait, is there a Tech 2 power generator? Yeah, hit a Tech 2 power generator. Try and cause a power stall. Get some time to catch up. Stop this massive production that Montana has. You have a gunship coming down here, but that's just going to be useless. Those three anti-air are more than enough to kill a gunship. Tactical missile is paused on the comm over there, while Montana's comm just still happy to stand out here in a field next to all of his T1AA. At this point, I'm kind of thinking that that Explosive here needs a snipe. He needs a snipe to make this a victory. There's so much advantage as far as economic, like so much of an economic advantage for Montana. It's just like it's a little sad. It's almost as if like Montana has the economy of a first world country, and we have Explosive over here sitting in a third world country, just living in a dirt shack, has no mass for anything. Over 100 mass a tick now for Montana, and a paltry 50 for Explosive. I'll tick it up by that one. I'll give him the 50. Lord knows he needs it. But yeah, I was thinking those gunships could get more done, but he needed so much more done with those gunships. Let's see how much damage he can do with his tactical missile now that it's finished. It is spending 22 mass a second, which is a sizable portion of his current income. And we have, yet again, more tanks streaming down towards the main base. We do have T2 mexes built up here, and that is most of his income. So if these go down, I'm almost positive that Explosive is gone. He's gone out of this match. He cannot win with no mass and no units, no matter how cool Tactical Missile is on a comm. Maybe he could go Billy. Billy might give him that advantage that he needs. And this engineer has managed to get down here, and a gunship has managed to clear this out enough for an engineer to make a factory. If that factory goes fully up, then it could possibly give him a few more mexes, and that would be very useful for him. These engineers just chilling, talking about their days. As a large push, once again, we've heard this story before, but gunships and PD have been managing to hold this off. We also have some Riptides now. We have Tech 2 land out from Explosive, and we also have a Flapjack missile launcher, actually 3 of them, coming in to try and help cull this tide of, just massive tide of Tech 1 tanks getting caught up on this cliff, pathfinding not really favoring Montana in this engagement. Tanks are filtering in one by one, but it does not look like they're getting very much damage done whatsoever. And that is yet another attack wave from Montana failing. We need to get some of these Elshevas we've been seeing standing around here. We need to get them to come down and assault the main base. That might work out a little bit better. But now that we have Riptides, those amphibious tanks, they're going to start possibly streaming across here. And that tactical missile upgrade is paying itself off in droves, having killed a T2 power and 2 T2 mexes. That is very valuable. And now where is he launching these missiles? It looks like he's going up here to try and deal with these mexes over here, and that should put a sizable dent in the income of Montana, but even then he's so far ahead, I don't see this tactical missile getting them on even footing anytime soon. Though Explosive's economy has recovered quite a bit, he is still giving up 25,000 mass totally accrued in this game. Montana has gained 25,000 mass more this match than Explosive. We do have Explosive with a sizable horde of Stingers over here. Maybe he can get something useful done with those. They've mainly been defending the base for the longest time, but if he can kind of cull the tide before it gets here, then he can hold onto his base and start building up a T2 army. We need those Elshevas over here on this flank quite badly, and I mean, honestly, we kind of need them over here too. Over the past couple of minutes, it looks like while all of the production over here is very nice, it's all T1, and we're having a bunch of T1 production over here and Riptides coming across the water. We're starting to see a whole bunch of red units on the field, but not quite so many blue ones. Another T2 mech is going to fall to this onslaught of TAC missiles by our red player in the UEF over here, that UEF tactical missile. You don't see it very often, but it is a very valuable strategy. I do really like the creativeness Explosives had with hanging on in this game. He's been getting pummeled for about 28 minutes, and it looks like he's about to start doing some pummeling himself. About to get some retribution. I guess I was being a naysayer saying I don't see how he can continue to fight while giving up such a massive generated mass lead to his opponent, but he's held in here, just taking these small defenses, taking these small victories, killing slightly more units. In fact, his kill to death ratio, he's killed 1.23 units worth of mass for every 0.78 that our blue player has. As we can see over here, it looks like this might... I think this can push in here. I don't know. He wants to push sooner rather than later because T2 PD are being built now. He's going to split his forces, it looks like. Or he gave them a move command and they're going to split themselves. This could be dangerous. There's a lot of T1 power over here. And these T2 power generators. T1 power, there's a lot of it. And it can start chaining down here. And these few artillery shots can start nipping away at that power that he has. And once you start power stalling, it's kind of hard to drag yourself out of it. We have a bunch of gunships coming in. Oh, focus the engineers. Focus the engineers. Don't kill the PD. Get the engineers. I'm so worried that he's going to start building AA. Get rid of the engineers, no more AA, and then you can just go to town on everything. But while that's happening, there's also another massive push over here, but it's just getting thwarted. All this T1, these T1 spam units are not enough anymore at this stage in the game where there's T2 units floating around. But T3 land is completed, and it looks like we have a flak coming out from that T3 land HQ, and now we have some hover tanks coming out. Hopefully we see some Othams. A couple Othams would be able to very cleanly be able to kind of shove these units back. That T2 power generator going down, how's that affected Montana's power? He's actually perfectly fine without it. Yeah, this is a lot of power. How many T1 pigeons do you have? 68 T1 pigeons compared to 24. That's a lot of power generation. But that's also a lot of mass to build all of these. That hover tank was destroyed. We do have some engineers coming out. I'm going to try and build some more PD. As these Riptides and Strikers just continue to assault this base. Ilshiva's trying to defend valiantly against this horde of UEF units. I think they're going to hold here. This wasn't significant enough to do a large amount of damage. Honestly, in hindsight, it would have been better to just kill the T2 mexes using the gunships than just killing off defenses. Actually, maybe not. Maybe it'll be able to hold. I mean, we have reinforcements coming out over here. Maybe this assault will keep going. Maybe it'll get some more done. We do have more T2 PD going up, though. Yeah, I think it's about to fizzle out. There's not enough units over here, and these are all Tech 1. Sorry about that. Had a cough really quick. We have more gunships coming out, but they're just getting torn apart by flak and AA. Yeah, they're just being shut down slowly one by one. Yet again, just kill the mass extractors. Get rid of some of this mass, but for the first time in a very long time this match, and as I say it gets proved wrong, it looks like Explosive might have a mass lead. He has clawed his way back in this game. It's been, as I said earlier, it was 28 minutes of him getting pummeled, and now he's managed to grab at least equal map control. Cutting off Montana from his main base as he's been cut off from his main base for a very long time. The tables have very likely turned. And it's definitely looking like Explosive is now in the driver's seat of this one. Though, as I was talking about for a long time, we needed Ilshivas on this flank so that they could push through, and what can you say? A bunch of Ilshivas are now over here. Do we have T2 production over here now? It does look like it. We have 4 T2 factories just pumping out Ilshivas to come down here. Those Tech 2 assault bots do so much damage and are have a lot of range. They're very tanky, just a very well-rounded unit. Very nice Tech 2 assault bot. Can contest T3s in certain situations. Not, of course, one-on-one, but they can last you a very long time. Very wise mass investment to get some Elshivas out on the field as they just tear through these pillars. And that tactical missile upgrade, I mean, I'd still be using it. Or did you pause the missiles? Okay, he's still using it. He is still launching missiles. Can probably get these mexes up here down if he wants them. And that's a ballsy move. Building 5 factories 100 feet from a T3 HQ that your enemy has. Engineers reclaiming engineers over here. It's engineer wars. But these Othams are starting to cause big trouble. T3 assault tanks, T3 siege tanks, they are not going to have any issue with the spam down here. These T2 units aren't going to do anything to them. These Lobos won't even tickle them. They'll just have to be microed a little bit better, and hey, Lobos don't even hit them. While down here, we do have a concentrated push from the Ilshevas and assorted T1 units, mainly just Zooey spam. I don't think it's going to be any more successful than the past ones, but you never know. What he really has to worry about is these Othams. He needs to get some kind of counter up that isn't air-based, because you can just make some flak and send him with the Othams. He needs to get his own T3 land up. Where is his T2 land HQ? Right here. Yeah, you need to start working on a T3 land explosive, and I know that's kind of a hard ask with everything going on right here. That T3 land HQ is actually coming in clutch for Montana. These Othams are just taking no answer other than the death of their enemies. And we have Ilshevas just, you know, chilling over here, getting bombed by T1 bombers. You know, just Ilshi things. Just an ever-present war of just units. They're constantly streaming in. There is absolutely no relief given to explosive. He's going to have to constantly deal with this as more Ilshevas show up down here to the south to cause more issues. And down here, we're not quite as well defended, and they're even breaking in up here where I thought he had a relatively decent defense on this. Are these Ilshas are really just breaking through here. Ilshis are going to be causing quite a bit of damage. Damage and range on the comm, that's a little bit late. 37 minutes is when that'll be finished at 37 minutes, and I'm not quite sure what he expects that to do for him. We do have a bunch of Ilshevas building up down here, and we have Ilshevas leaking into the main base from the top. This base is a boat, and it's a very, very leaky boat. This boat is sinking. This base, which has been a thorn in the side of Montana for almost the entire game, just constantly thwarting his attempts to attack, and he is managing to take it using Ilshevas. I think that one good solid push, and he will be able to take over this main base, destroy all these factories, and start shutting down Explosive's attempts to hold on in this game. He takes out those power generators. I'm pretty sure it's all over. I do not think he can sustain. He can't even sustain things as it is. He can't keep the lights on or the shields on, per se. Does not have enough power generation to do so. He's finished that damage and range upgrade, and he has some tanks over here taking out the T1 AA. I don't know if that's the most effective targeting. Maybe he's trying to get a gunship raid in, but I don't even think he has the gunships to do a gunship raid. Otherwise, he'd just be sending the gunships down here to get rid of this flak and then take out the Ilshevas. He has one gunship right here, a 2-vet gunship with 15 kills. This gunship pilot is an absolute hero. And he's unfortunately going to be dying. A 3-vet with 16 kills. Absolute hero of a gunship. And he just died. These Ilshevas are finally built up the courage. They drank their vodka, and now they're going to be pushing up this hill. And as more and more Ilshevas and flak and Zooies just flood into this base, I don't think they can hold it. I don't think this base is going to hold. He's power stalling. He doesn't have enough mass. He needs to do something and do it quick. This Otham is going to have a field day as he shoots all of these T1 tanks. Oh, actually, maybe not. T1 tanks are putting up a fight. Yeah, this base is a goner. Yeah, he's not going to be able to hold it anymore. And speaking of which, maybe... Oh, actually, yeah, no, you can hold this base with the T1 PD and all this. But Otham's also pushing in here, destroying factories, possibly getting a mech or two. He has Guncom. Is he going to try and push down on Montana? Is he bringing his units all the way around to push on Montana? I think that's his Hail Mary play. And kudos to you, because I'm surprised at this point that you haven't controlled Cade, because I think this is pretty well and good over. But, I mean, I guess he is still producing quite a bit of mass a second. He does have a lot of mechs scattered throughout the map, and he has held on despite being at a massive deficit this entire game. But I think this main base is the thing that's been keeping him going. He's about to lose both his Tech 2 land and his Tech 3 air. And that's just brutal. Unless he can manage to hold here, in which case maybe he can mount a defense and yet again get into this and start assaulting this main base again with T3 air instead of T2 air. He has his comm sitting right here. He is building a tactical missile. But look at that. Almost actually is a 50,000 mass difference between these two players. Montana has managed to grab 50,000 more mass. Grab and spend 50,000 more mass than Explosive this match. And Explosive, to his credit, is still in this. Still fighting, still kicking, still absolutely dragging this out. He is fighting tooth and nail to the bitter end. And as we speak, Montana's getting Tech 2, which that's an interesting upgrade. Does Montana know about the comm? No, he's probably getting Tech 2 to get Flak up? I would guess Flak. Let's see. Yeah, the base is just slowly getting dismantled, but the Tech 3 Air Factory and the Tech 2 Land HQ, they're staying alive. Well, as I say it, the Tech 3 Air Factory just went down, so he just lost his Tech 3 Air, and he's about to lose his Tech 2 Land. This base is absolutely toast. As a hailstorm... Oh! Montana must have gotten hit with a tactical missile from the comm of Explosive. If he can just guess where Montana's comm is, if he can just find out that, if he can just get a scout plane up, he could possibly kill him with a tactical missile. T2 yet again canceled. As Montana starts running away from this comm, we have a stream of Tech 2 and Tech 1 units, mix of pillars and strikers coming in. This push could possibly actually kill Montana. Montana, after holding a lead, a dominant lead for most of this game, only having a few minutes of it where he was not absolutely in control of this game, could possibly lose to this push of these tanks and the comm. This Rambo comm that's gotten so many kills. Look at that. 60 kills, most of those with a tactical missile launcher. Is pushing in with gun, T2, and TAC missile onto Montana's comm. Montana is running for his reinforcements, running for more Elshevas. Oh, but here come the gunships, and yeah, there's no way. I think these gunships seal the fate. A horde of gunships come in for Explosive. Yeah, I think that's all she wrote. He cannot survive long with those gunships. He launches one last tactical missile in defiance. Defiance of death. Defiance. That has defined Explosive this entire match. He has defied everything and everyone. But alas, his defiance has been quelled. His rebellion against Montana's mighty empire of just having more mass and map control has finally ended. And with that, we bid farewell to Explosive in a rather fitting way, considering his name. See that marvelous UEF fireball. And with that, I would like to thank you for joining me in my first cast. There is going to be a spoiler guard going on, so there's going to be about another 20, or I don't know how long it's going to be. There's going to be an undetermined amount of time where this is just running, just kind of a screenshot of this. So yeah, thank you for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you want to check out more of my content, I have a Fallout 4 playthrough, modded survival on Fallout 4 that I have just completed the main storyline of, and we're about to be starting some DLC on that. And if you want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments. Let me know that you like this and you want to see more casts like this. I think I might make it a weekly installment on my channel, or possibly maybe even more frequent depending on how popular it is. But yeah, I just figured it'd be fun to cast a game. I'm going to go ahead and sit down and cast a couple more for the next coming weeks. Just get a few out there, just see what I think, see if I'm enjoying it. But yeah, thank you. This has been a long ramble here at the end. You all rock, and I will see you again in the next one. Hey guys, this is super random, and I'm actually going to edit this. This happened in the future from where I was just talking. But I was wondering if you all wanted to see the stats of the game. Mainly the standard, where you can see stuff like kills, built units, lost mass, energy, all that. Just some random stats. I'm going to show them off. I'm just going to throw this in here a little bit after I stopped talking. So if you stayed after I gave the little thing about, hey, this is the end, then hey, you get a little bit of special information where you can see stats about what they did and what they didn't do. Like the mass value of the things they killed. And in general, wow, okay, that's actually a significantly less kills, like almost 100 less kills, but way more mass value. Interesting. But yeah, I just figured I'd go ahead and look at the stats a little bit, just have some fun with it. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah, goodbye.